Hello viewers, observe this. Would you want to try something out like this? What made this possible is Keyframe. Now, what are keyframes? Keyframes are fundamental tools in Premiere Pro that you can use to create animations and transitions, just like the ones you saw now. Let's assume you want to add a subscribe button, you want your text to just pop up, fade in, fade out, you want to add a description or something on your video as you are speaking. This can be made possible and brought to life by Keyframe. So Keyframe brings your 2D object or your overlays to life. It could be anything, just like this guy that I just scrolled in now and goes out. That is Keyframe, and I'm going to be teaching you how to do this in Premiere Pro. So I've jumped into Premiere Pro, and my aim is to add a subscribe button. As I'm talking in this video, the subscribe button just pops up. I had already imported a subscribe button here, so I'll just drag it into my timeline. Now, once I have this in my timeline, you can see how it's blocking my face here. What I need to do is go to Effect Controls here. And in case you are new to Effect Controls, this is where you can manipulate whatever footage is in your sequence. This is where you can adjust scale, position, rotate, even the opacity of your footage. You can do everything. In fact, this is where you need to manipulate whatever it is you want to achieve in this video. Now I'm going to scale this down to a certain size and position it to a place like this. And for those of you that don't know, just for shortcut or for a faster means, you can just click this motion guy here and bring this one down direct without having to be doing X and Y positioning. Now, once I've positioned this where I want, what I need to do is apply keyframes. Now it's time for us to animate the subscribe button. You should understand this, that this subscribe button started from here and it ends here. Our aim is to add a keyframe here and not at the ending, depending on what we want. So we want to add a keyframe at the beginning of the subscribe button and add another keyframe somewhere here. You just see what I mean now. Now when you see the subscribe button, I'll go to the beginning of where the subscribe button came in. Now depending on how long this overlay is, you can decide to stretch it. It's your choice. But what you need to do is go to the beginning of that subscribe button, then we want to play around with position. The reason we're going to use position is because it is my choice to make an animation that enables the subscribe button slide in. Like I said, you can decide to use opacity. That one you should know that you'll be going towards fade in and fade out. This is what I mean. So you must toggle this timer icon on here. This is where the animation begins. And once you do that, you will see this timeline. This is just showing you the subscribe button that is currently being worked on. So this is it. If I highlight this video, it tends to switch to that video as a whole. But because we're working on this subscribe button guy, we now have a shorter time frame of it here. So I've added a keyframe. If I toggle over this, you can see add or remove keyframe. So this guy you're seeing here, this rhombus shape you're seeing here is keyframe. And you can switch between keyframe by pressing these two arrows. Now what we want to do is move a little bit further from this keyframe and add another keyframe. Now the reason is because I want this guy to slide in from somewhere here and stop at somewhere here. So we'll just add keyframe somewhere here, and as you are doing this, be watching this place to see how far it's going. And mind you, you can drag here or you can also drag it here. They are the same thing. So I want to add the second keyframe somewhere here. I will just click this and add. I've not done anything at this point, but what I want to do is go to this first one and then move to the second one. You can see I'm using this arrow to toggle between keyframes. So like I said, the idea is we've added keyframes here. This is the beginning and end of the subscribe button. I've added a keyframe here, these 2 points. The idea is from this initial keyframe, I want the subscribe button to slide in and stop here. Watch what I mean. Now this is the beginning point here. This is the keyframe. And from the position parameters, you can see about 300 and 1000 here. But I want to shift this guy here like this. Let's assume it hides inside here, so that before the thing slides in, the animation has started actually. As this thing is playing around, the subscribe button comes to this point and maintains this position. This is what I mean. That is keyframe in action. And you can make it even faster depending on your distance between this first keyframe and the second one. If I adjust this like this, it becomes even faster. And by the time you add a sound effect like whoosh sound or swoop sound, it makes more sense. So our next aim now is to make the subscribe button slide down. Therefore, from here to here, the subscribe button will slide in. Now remember, this is the end of the subscribe button. So now the subscribe button has been showing for a while. When it gets to somewhere here again, in between this ending and a point here, I want it to slide down. This is what I mean. Add a keyframe at the ending point here. Then, similar to what I did initially in the beginning part, I'll just move these guys a little bit here and add another keyframe. At this point, nothing has been done, but I want this subscribe button to slide down by this point here. What I need to do is move this guy here. What keyframe does is it enables you to give action to these guys at specific points, at these frames here. So at individual frames, you can instruct the overlay to act as you want, to behave at a particular manner. Now, made it slide down here. If I play through this guy, you see something happening. You can see that. Now, that is all for keyframing. Your limit is your creativity. What you produce depends on how creative you are. So if you found this video helpful, please subscribe. Help this channel get to 1,000 subscribers, and also help this video get to 1,000 likes. Your likes and shares helps this video a lot, and it improves our algorithm. Thank you. If you have any question, you can leave it in the comment section. See you some other time. Thanks for dropping by.